follow up on the promotion of the movie and the book.
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
How y'all doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode. This is Mr. J Synergy. This is J Synergy Talks. Hope everybody out there living good. Just sitting up here on the late night hours, just sitting up here enjoying this evening. About to bring this content to y'all, so y'all sit back and relax. It's story time. Now, today's topic of discussion is Mr. Kyrie Irving. On the basketball court, he phenomenal. I mean, he could do everything. He could shoot. He go dance with you, make you look silly. He definitely gonna score points. I can't really say too much about it because after he left Cleveland, you know what I'm saying, he ain't won another championship. So, but shout out to Mr. Kyrie Irving. Everybody is in the uproar over these comments he made and the postings that he put out. It wasn't really so much comments, so we're not going to get this confused with Mr. Yeezy. His situation is a little bit different. I'll say that. I'll give it to him. So, make a long story short, by the way, y'all make sure y'all continue to like, subscribe, support. This is Mr. J Synergy. This is J Synergy Talks. So y'all make sure y'all continue to support me as I bring y'all this information, these stories. Now, with Kyrie Irving's situation, what happened with him was he actually said he was up there, you know, looking for information as Mr. Irving does. So he looks up his name in Hebrew and he said it comes back to Yahweh. So he goes on Netflix. Needless to say, he comes across this documentary, and it has some Jewish views and everything. Let's just say everything was definitely not correct. So he never watches it. I mean, he was looking for all the information. He found the documentary, and he went straight to Instagram. So once again, let's give it up for the IG. Nothing like social media these days. So what happened was he posted the documentary. It's called From Hebrews to Negroes. And in it seems to have some type of things going on about the Holocaust. Yeah, the Holocaust. Basically, what happened was they said that it didn't even exist. So he was way out of line with that one. I mean, needless to say, as they said it didn't exist. It's a lot of things in there in the documentary that's giving all type of props to Hitler. So that shit don't really make no sense. So you got the Jewish people in the uproar about this situation. You got the blacks in the uproar talking about the Jewish and the powers to be and all that type of stuff. You know, the same stuff that Yeezy was speaking on, which controls the narrative and everything that's going on in social media, the world, sports, all that stuff. So it's pretty much looking like freedom of speech and uncensored speech is really censored. So how does that work? I don't really think that works, not for a country that's supposed to be free, and especially not how it was founded. Now, what I will say is Irving did come back and recant those statements and say he doesn't endorse everything that's in the documentary. He made a mistake by putting it up without watching it, so I give him props for that. But can you believe these didn't believe that this was even good enough? They continue to badger this man every day. Not only that, but it ain't like the Nets doing too good. So he irritated after the game. They coming at him asking, Kyrie, what's up with that promotion of that documentary, and he proceeded to say, which I have the footage, so make sure y'all stay tuned to the end and check out this footage. I have several things going on about Mr. Kyrie Irving and this situation. Needless to say, they kept badgering him, asking the same questions. What he said was, and I quote him, "How can I be anti-Semitic when I know where I came from?" So with that, I see Mr. Irving definitely did his homework. So as a people, you got people black, you got people Jewish, and I believe freedom of speech should be free. That's what it's supposed to be. That's why we got technology. That's why we got social media. And that's why a lot of sources now, people is being more awoken in these days. And it's not just about those centralized, commercialized, monopolized news sources. It's about people like me that's bringing content, information, people doing homework, people being more awoke. So I give him props for always seeking the truth. That's one thing I will say, for thinking outside the box. So once again, continuing with the story. He said, I can't be anti-Semitic. So after that, then he ends up getting a backlash. Nike ends up dropping him from his shoe contract deal, saying the shoes won't come out. Yeah, they actually cut this man's shoe contract deal. He did go back in there and say he didn't agree with everything in the documentary, but to the Jewish community and the powers that control everything, we all know who them is, the elite, the 10%, the 5%, or whatever numerology you want to use, the people that control everything and put a muzzle over your mouth when you want to be a millionaire. So that's how that really goes. Hey, like I always say, the fall gonna be harder than the come up. And I'm Mr. J Synergy, and synergy is all of us together, staying strong, bonding together, feeling the energies and all that stuff of the world. So with that being said, if it's right, it's right, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. If my spirit tell me it's wrong, then obviously it ain't right. We just got to use common sense. So they both got valid points. When we come to y'all with more content, an additional story about Mr. Kanye West, because that's a whole nother avenue right there. He's on something totally different. I mean, so we're going to tap into that. But with Mr. Irving, he ended up getting suspended for 5 games. Starting off initially, he got to go through a series of different things for him to be able to get back into the league. Yeah, I'm confused about it too. I don't care what everybody else is saying and how they bring it. This is Mr. J Synergy. This is the J Synergy Talks. And I'm going to talk and represent and bring y'all production, because that's what I do. I'm a commentator, I'm a creator, and I'm a motivator and innovator. So that all went together. So he ended up getting suspended, and he got to go through a series of sit downs with Jewish community members and things like that. So, like I always say, don't live in the matrix. What you see is not what it always is. And remember, the fall is going to always be harder than come up. One thing I will say about Mr. Kyrie Irving, and what I can agree with, is I don't agree with nobody, black, white, brown, or whatever you are, to not stand with your people in good times and in different times. Like, give them their flowers when they do good. Give them advice behind closed doors when they do bad. I mean, everything ain't meant to be broadcast in the world for the public to see. But once again, when you step to that door and the rituals that go on with being into the elite and the millionaires club and the billionaires club, and you got puppets and people controlling your steps, there's certain things and certain ways that you got to carry yourself if you want to keep making the millions. I'm just keeping it real. So that's where he at. That's the choices you made. And it's up to you to decide. So with that, he lost millions with the Nike deal. And he's pretty much getting shunned from the league. If you don't be careful, he might end up being out the league. I'm just keeping it real. Only thing I will say is he definitely got valid points as far as with the actual history of the Hebrew nations and the 12 tribes that everybody know about if you study Christianity or any type of Bible or anything about the Middle East and Africa. So he definitely knows his history. All Jewish people do not look the same, just like every black person don't look the same. But with that being said, this is Mr. J Synergy. This is J Synergy Talks. Make sure y'all continue to like, subscribe, and support. Leave comments, all that stuff. Make sure y'all just keep a couple seconds. Take a couple minutes out your time and just hit the like button. It only take 2 seconds, and it does do good to help the content continue to grow as I continue to show my evolution and my skills on this production thing. But with that being said, America, the home of the free, land of the brave, supposed to be unslaved, uncensored ways. It ain't looking all the same in these days, 2022. This is Mr. J Synergy. This is J Synergy Talks. Continue to like, support, subscribe, and continue to stay tuned and check out this footage, the exclusive footage, exclusive viewpoint from Mr. J Synergy Talks on this Kyrie Irving situation. Y'all stay tuned. Peace.
For the second straight season, the Brooklyn Nets will be playing without Kyrie Irving. Last season, it was his refusal to get the COVID-19 vaccine. This time, the Nets have suspended Irving for at least 5 games without pay after his refusal to apologize after posting a link on social media to a movie and a book that contain anti-Semitic material. Early Thursday, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver released a statement expressing his disappointment in Kyrie's failure to denounce the, quote, vile and harmful content contained in the film he chose to publicize. Irving addressed the media after Silver's comments and did not apologize or voice that he did not have anti-Semitic beliefs.
I take my responsibility for posting that. Some things that were questionable in there, untrue. Like I said, in the first time you guys asked me when I was sitting on that stage, I don't believe everything that everybody posts. It's a documentary. So I take my responsibility.
It seems like Adam Silver wanted to hear the word I apologize, or in your mind you said I didn't mean to cause any harm. Were you apologizing or not?
I didn't mean to cause any harm. I'm not the one that made the documentary.
Kyrie, for the record, do you have any anti-Semitic beliefs?
Again, I'm going to repeat. I don't know how the label becomes justified because you guys ask me the same questions over and over again. But this is not going to turn into a spin around cycle, questions upon questions. I told you guys how I felt. I respect all walks of life and embrace all walks of life. That's where I sit.
I think what people want to hear, though, is just a yes or no on that question. Yes or no.
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. Anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
The Nets released the following statement on Irving, saying in part, "We are dismayed today when given an opportunity in a media session that Kyrie refused to unequivocally say he has no anti-Semitic beliefs, nor acknowledge specific hateful material in the film. This was not the first time he had the opportunity, but failed to clarify. Such failure to disavow anti-Semitism, when given a clear opportunity to do so, is deeply disturbing, is against the values of our organization, and constitutes conduct detrimental to the team. Accordingly, we are of the view that he is currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets. We have decided that Kyrie will serve a suspension without pay until he satisfies a series of objective remedial measures that addresses the harmful impact of his conduct, and the suspension period served is no less than 5 games." Minutes ago, Kyrie Irving posting a statement via Instagram, and while doing research on Yahweh, he says, "I posted a documentary that contained some false anti-Semitic statements, narratives, and language that were untrue and offensive to the Jewish race, religion, and I take full accountability and responsibility for my actions. I am grateful to have a big platform to share knowledge, and I want to move forward by having an open dialogue to learn more and grow from this. To all Jewish families and communities that are hurt and affected by my post, I am deeply sorry to have caused you pain, and I apologize. I initially reacted out of emotion to being unjustly labeled anti-Semitic, instead of focusing on the healing process of my Jewish brothers and sisters that were hurt from the hateful remarks made in the documentary. I want to clarify any confusion on where I stand fighting against anti-Semitism by apologizing for posting the documentary without context and a factual explanation outlining the specific beliefs in the documentary I agreed with and disagreed with. I had no intentions to disrespect any Jewish cultural history regarding the Holocaust or perpetrate any hate. I am learning from this unfortunate event and hope we can find an understanding between us all. I am no different than any other human being. I am seeking of truth and of knowledge.
This massive story in the NBA, which was trending, I guess, in this direction, given the way things have been going. Brooklyn Nets have suspended Kyrie Irving for at least 5 games without pay, the team announced Thursday night. The announcement comes hours after a new media appearance by Irving, where he came short of apologizing for a controversial social media post about a book and movie that featured anti-Semitic tropes. Now, the Nets issued a lengthy statement, which I'm going to read for you here. Over the last several days, we've made repeated attempts to work with Kyrie Irving to help him understand the harm and danger of his words and actions, which began with him publicizing a film containing deeply disturbing anti-Semitic hate. We believed that taking the path of education in this challenging situation would be the right one, and thought that we had made progress with our joint commitment to eradicating hate and intolerance. We were dismayed today when given an opportunity in a media session that Kyrie refused to unequivocally say he has no anti-Semitic beliefs nor acknowledge specific hateful material in the film. That was not the first time that he had the opportunity but failed to clarify. Such failure to disavow anti-Semitism when given a clear opportunity to do so is deeply disturbing, is against the values of our organization, and constitutes conduct detrimental to the team. Accordingly, we're of the view that he is currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets. We've decided that Kyrie will serve a suspension without pay until he satisfies a series of objective remedial measures that address the harmful impact of his conduct, and the suspension period served is no less than 5 games. So we work our way backwards to that media appearance earlier in the day Thursday, which prompted this response by the Nets.
Christ, Philippians 2:11, and my name translates in the Hebrew language as Yahweh. So I went on to Amazon Prime. I was like, let me see if there are any documentaries on Yahweh. So went in the search bar, typed in Yahweh, that came up. Went out and shared it on my platform. That was my night. In terms of the backlash, or what people call it.
Kyrie, the documentary listed among falsehoods. It said the Holocaust didn't happen. Do you believe the Holocaust happened?
Falsehoods are unfortunate. And it's not that I don't believe in the Holocaust. I never said that. Never, ever have said it. It's not come out of my mouth. I never tweeted it. Never liked anything like it. So the Holocaust in itself is an event that means something to a large group of people that suffered something that could have been avoided. No one said we had to practice racism. No one said we had to treat each other like garbage. No one said that I had to stand here today and understand that many people that come from generations 60 years ago, 40 years ago, enslaved some of my ancestors, still spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, and it's still going on. You guys are asking me to speak on something that was a documentary that I had nothing to do with. I didn't make it. So just please keep that same energy when you guys are addressing me.